So I wanted my next video to be about Tony and Paul Smith and their whole love affair and how I introduced them and how they ended up getting married. And it's such a beautiful story. It's like a Hallmark story. It's that perfect. So I'm going to do this video. It's going to be a short one because it segues into that one. So my stepfather, Hugh, this is Hugh here. That's my mother. That's my best friend, Cindy Wilson. And that odd-looking guy on the edge was me. And this is me and Cindy when we went to the junior prom. I'm going to make a whole video about that because it was hilarious. So Hugh had two kids, a son a couple of years older and a daughter a couple of years younger. And, I guess Hugh, I know the stories of him smacking his kids around, and then when he came to live with us, he was smacking around my brothers. He never hit me. I think that's because I was bigger than him. And Hugh was the kind of man who wouldn't get into a fight unless he was sure he could win. And I don't think he could have won a fight with me. But I had to step in a number of times because his beatings were, against my brothers were just so harsh. I don't know why my mother was attracted to these really violent men, but she was. So anyway, Roxanne visited us a couple of times. And one of the times, she said that she was going to be nice to Hugh the closer she got to graduating from high school. And then once she graduated, she was going to tell him she never wanted to see him again and she hated his guts. And I said, so you're going to have him pay for all of your college and everything, and then as soon as he pays for it, you're going to tell him get lost? She's like, yeah. I said, don't you think that's kind of mean? And she says, oh, yeah. So, okay. So, I'd been stationed in Baumholder, Germany, and this was, years after I had left home. And so Roxanne had been going to college. So my mother had been writing me, oh, Roxanne's going to college in Paris, France, and we're paying for her apartment and giving her money. And, we could have done that for you. No, I don't even know why she would say something like that. They told me they wanted me to live at home so they could keep an eye on me. And they said, we're not going to let you go any place where we can't have control. They used to say stuff like that all the time. And they actually went to St. Mary's College and signed me up for the classes. I never saw the college until the first day I went. And I only went there a couple days, and then I realized I just can't go to college here. I just don't like it. When I told them I was going to change my courses, they said, then we won't pay for it. And so then, the next day, I was out of there. So anyway, Roxanne told me she was going to be nice to Hugh until, he paid for everything. So one day I get this letter from my mom, and she starts off with, oh, Roxanne, that dreadful girl, do you know what she did? As soon as I read that, I knew that what it was going to say. And sure enough, she said after we paid for her college education and rented an apartment for her and gave her money, she told Hugh she never wanted to speak to him again, and she hates his guts. She said, can you believe she did something like that? Well, I could see it coming. I mean, she told me she was going to do that, and she did. So I guess Hugh just reaped what he sowed all those years. So anyway, my next video is going to be about this just wonderful love story between Paul and Tony. So when I look at this this relationship between Roxanne and Hugh and his son, if I was going to give some advice to parents out there, be nice to your kids. You can still, you don't have to be permissive to be nice. You got to listen to them, talk to them, ask them how things are going without pressure. Be conversational. Be a friend to your kids. You can be a friend and still be a parent. And so, I told my mom one time, you should be nicer to your kids. She had 5 kids. I said, you should be nicer to your kids. And she goes, why? And I told her, well, they're not going to want to visit you when you get old. And right away she's like, don't you threaten me. And that was how she, saw her kids. And I even asked her one time, why did you have so many kids if you can't stand kids? And she said, well, it was after World War II, and, so many people had died. And there was a lot of pressure on society for women to have kids. But believe me, if I knew then what I know now, my life would have been a lot different. Most parents would say, I love my kids, but not my mom. So anyway, that's my lesson from this story is, parents, be nice to your kids. Because once that relationship is gone and they're grown and gone, it's never coming back. You only get one shot at that. So the next time will be Paul and Tony's love story.